students, Sachin, Kranti, Ranjana, Vaibhav, Priyanka, jaldi se batao audio video clear hai ya nahi? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Wish you all there a happy Teachers Day. Thank you so much, Ishika. And what a best conversation it can be कि आज Teachers Day है और मैम को तो सब लोग विश कर रहे हैं हैप्पी टीचर्स डे क्योंकि बहुत सारे बच्चों के हिसाब से मैं एक अच्छी टीचर हूं, लेकिन मेरे हिसाब से अच्छी टीचर क्या होता है, अच्छी टीचर का डेफिनेशन क्या होता है, तो आज मैंने कहा कि क्यों ना मैं मेरी ही टीचर को बुला लूं यहाँ पे. सो फॉर दिस रीजन आज एसएसए टॉक एपिसोड 5 में हमारे साथ हैं शुरुआत से जो बेसिकली एक सक्सेसफुल मदर है, टीचर है, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर है एंड फाइनली शी इज ऑल्सो अ प्रिंसिपल. 40 years of teaching experience. एजुकेशन की फील्ड में इन्होंने अपने 4 decades डाले हैं. आधी दुनिया जो घूम चुकी है because she has been to Europe, she has been to New Zealand, she has been to US और एक इंटरनेशनली acclaimed मैंने कहा कि लाइफ के एक्सपीरियंसेस जो लिए हैं मेरी टीचर जिन्हें मैं एक आइडियल टीचर मानती हूँ, एक एजुकेटर मानती हूँ, मैंने कहा आज इन्हीं से हम सुनते हैं टीचर के बारे में. सो ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ द होल टीम ऑफ एसएसए Patel ma'am, I welcome you to this episode of SSA Talk on the Real Educator. मुझे लगता है ये नाम आप पे बहुत जचता है.
Thank you so much.
And what do you feel about this? You are a real educator. मैंने इस मैम के साथ मेरे एसोसिएशन में आपको बता दूं, I met her in the year around I think 2015-16. The moment I met her, it was like we met for I think for a few days, a month, 2 months, 3 months. But उस समय में जो मैंने मैम से सीखा है, एजुकेशन, टीचिंग, टीचर, ये शब्दों के सही अर्थ, क्योंकि इन्होंने जिस इंटेंशन के साथ टीचिंग की है, बहुत बड़ी बात होती है 40 साल अपनी जिंदगी के एक प्रोफेशन को देना और उसी प्रोफेशन को पकड़े रहना. सो आई थिंक मैम सल्यूट टू यू फॉर दैट एंड वेलकम यू अगेन ऑन दिस प्लेटफॉर्म.
Thank you so much for your appreciation. Well, I'm not that to the level to be appreciated.
No, ma'am, you are.
I think that man is in a learning state until he dies.
Right, that's so true.
And I cannot say myself, I cannot call myself as a perfect person because until and unless you face the world, you practically implement all the things, whatever you know into practicality, you cannot call yourself as a perfect person. And according to great scholars, a man is not perfect until he dies. He is in a learning state.
That's so true. That's so true. तो जल्दी से अपनी नोटबुक ओपन करें और पेन लें. क्यों मैम आज भी पढ़ाने वाली हो? यस. हर बार के सेशन में कुछ ना कुछ लेसन्स आप लेकर जाते हैं. तो एसएसए टॉक से आज सबसे पहला लेसन हमको क्या मिला मैम से कि a good teacher, a good educator is always a good learner, and this is what she describes herself as, a good learner. तो learning करनी है हमेशा. ठीक है, first point. चलिए मैम, so let's proceed for this session and my first question to you is, what according to you is a teacher and how do you define a good teacher? What is your definition of a good teacher?
Well, a teacher is a person, should have qualities of talents, excellence, ability to and willingness to teach, then honest. It should be very royal because teaching is a royal profession. And you should be always thankful to God that you have been given a chance to train the young generation, to take care of the country. It's not just, people these days have started a different view of teacher. Whatever they know they want to impose.
Right.
Whatever they think that this should go into the minds of the students, it should be that. No. It should be according to me, maybe I may be wrong, but according to me, I think that whatever knowledge is given to the student should be according to the level of understanding at different ages.
Right, so that's important.
A teacher is always a teacher until you are also learning and imparting knowledge to others.
That's a two-way process.
Two-way process. It's not just a single man's, just whatever you know, you are just delivering it to your students. No, you learn and then you impart your language and you share the things. Because unlike 40, 50 years back, the methodology of teaching was totally different.
The teaching methodology has changed.
Yes, changed.
Okay.
Totally it has changed. From the olden days to the new era, people have started to share the things. They do not impose. We should not impose that, okay, this is
right and this
this is right and this is wrong. You have to follow this. No way. You have to give various examples. You have to give them a number of questions through which indirectly you come up to the answer. And then they understand the reality of that point. Not that you impose that 2 plus 2 is 4. No. Why is 2 plus 2 is equals to 4 and 2 multiplied by 2 is also 4?
You should explain.
You should explain them.
Correct. So, ma'am, se aaj humne second point ye sikha hai. Generally, we say that teaching is a noble profession. So, ma'am has just made a bit of addition to that, saying that teaching is a royal profession. तो मैम ने इसमें थोड़ा वजन ऐड कर दिया है. Teaching, no doubt, एक noble profession तो है ही है, मैम. लेकिन आज से हम कहेंगे teaching is a very royal profession. All the teachers out there, this is a cheers for you. So, teaching is a royal profession. Second point जो मैम ने यहाँ बहुत important बताया है कि teaching through decades has changed. Now, teaching is more of sharing rather than imposing. So this is a second point that ma'am has really come up with. So ma'am, next question that comes up to you is, how do you define a good student now? Since you have been into this 40 years of teaching, आपको तो बहुत सारे बच्चे आपने पढ़ाए हैं, मतलब आपने तो आई थिंक काउंट भी नहीं हम कर सकते इतने स्टूडेंट्स को ट्रेन किया है. बट इन 40 साल के टीचिंग एक्सपीरियंस में आप एक अच्छा स्टूडेंट किसे डिफाइन करेंगे?
Well, human beings are all not perfect from all the points. Some is good in some aspects, some other one is good in other aspects. But when we consider all the points together, we can, relate a little bit of here and there, tell that, yeah, he is good among these group. Among this group, this child is good. So what he thinks, first of all, we have to analyze through their facial expressions, through their quietness, through their capability of understanding and grasping the aspect, and then questioning related to that particular topic is a real good child. But sometimes, irrelevant questions also the children ask. They think that whatever they know, they want to clear off with their doubts.
Right.
That is also a good idea. But then the real child who is really intelligent will go deep into the matter and then try to analyze it. If I ask this, will that be okay? If I ask this, will that be okay? And he understands very fast. Right. And to categorize students into graded wise, all children are not of the same grade. There is variation between the intelligence of every person. I may not be intelligent, but I'm very good in questioning. I might not be good in
learning, but might be memorizing.
Right. So everyone is talented. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given lots of talent to everyone, but it varies from person to person.
So that's so correctly said कि good student मैम ने कहा कि एक ग्रुप में ये बच्चा अच्छा तो वो ग्रुप में वो बच्चा अच्छा, लेकिन हर बच्चे का अपना इंटेलेक्ट लेवल होता है. किसी को इंटेलेक्ट पे हम जज नहीं कर सकते. And everybody is, talented at some sector, some point, some different aspect of life. That's so true, ma'am. But ma'am, let's talk about the student-teacher relationship. So this आपका जो 40 years of experience है, इसमें relationship कितनी change हुई है, and what do you find that is one thing that we can learn about the student-teacher relationship that we have now? Because with this online education also and this mobile phone and everything coming up.
See, the relationship of teacher and student is such. At present, it is friendly relation. You cannot force them to learn. You cannot force them to accept your own views, because there are a number of things from where they can grasp the knowledge through internet, through different magazines, through different pamphlets, through different books. They have the choice to get the knowledge.
Correct, because earlier the source of knowledge was only teacher. But now the sources, whenever you have Google coming up, Google has offered so many teachers online. So yeah, we have many sources now.
We used to think that teacher is a bundle of knowledge.
Right.
But these days, the criteria of selecting the teachers is also gone a little bit different. We do select teachers not on their smartness or on their physical appearance. Especially myself, when I was the head administering my school, and I worked as a principal of school for about 10 years.
Right.
And then later on, I balanced my responsibilities for 20 years of my own school. And abroad also, I was there for about 6 to 7 years. giving, imparting my knowledge to the other students. I do not call myself as a teacher because, as I said right in the beginning, that the teacher is not a perfect person. He's always learning. Even I'm learning till this age. At this age also I'm in a learning stage.
Yes.
So when we learn and we say that students have to learn, the olden days were quite good. People say पुराने ज़माने के teachers अच्छे थे, लेकिन पुराने ज़माने में source of knowledge was only one person.
Right.
अगर वो गलत को भी सही बोलता तो घर में जाके माँ बाप को बच्चे बोलते थे कि माँ कहती कि बेटा इसको ये नहीं, ये कहते हैं तो बोलता नहीं मेरे टीचर ने ये कहा, ये सही है, ये सही है. तो those were the source of knowledge for which they were sound. They used to say, no, this is the right thing that we are learning. But nowadays, the relationship of student and teacher has gone so, there is a big bond between them, that they think that whatever the teacher says is correct only when they see through different sources that whatever matter the teacher has related is correct.
Basically, they verify it now. And we can say like earlier it was informative and now it's become more communicative.
More communicative.
So the relationship has changed very much. Okay, so students, आप इस teacher-student relationship में मुझे पता है कि आप तो सारे अच्छे professions में जाओगे, but teaching भी एक बहुत अच्छा profession है और आप इसमें आने का जरूर सोचें, because we have live examples where people have given their complete 40 years of life into teaching. Ma'am, what are your experiences, your personal experience as a teacher, if you have to share? What is that biggest learning that you have learned from this profession of teaching? Which one quality in your life that you have learned from being a teacher?
From a simple person to a sound person, a person becomes.
Wow, that was really awesome. I think that was really awesome that she said right now, from being a simple to a sound person. So this transformation came through your profession.
Through my profession, gradually, not all at a time.
And
it's only through experience.
So that's complete gradual experience, from a simplicity to a sound person that you became. So that was an experience. That was the biggest learning that you have as a
learning. And still we are learning. I do not say that I'm a learned person. Still we are in a learning state.
We are learning state. So कहते हैं ना, good teachers are always good learners. This is really very, very important. So ma'am, I have another question that comes up is like, what advice would you give for the teachers who are really upcoming teachers, जिनको teacher सच में बनना है, because we have got all this entrance exams like TET for becoming a government school teacher. So we have to do B.Ed, we have to do D.Ed for becoming a teacher. But what advice if you want to give somebody कि नहीं मुझे सच में पढ़ाना है बच्चों को दिल से, जो सच में teacher बनना चाहता है, उनके लिए क्या advice देंगी आप?
That inner desire should come from your soul. The desire to become a teacher. Your aptitude should be such that you should be able to express yourself clearly and grab the student's mind into your own self. It's not by chance that you become a teacher, because these days the scenario has changed. People started to think that अरे कहीं जगह नहीं मिली तो चलो टीचर बन जाओ, कुछ नहीं तो टीचर बन जाओ, तो that is wrong. कुछ नहीं मिला प्रोफेशन, कोई जॉब नहीं मिला, कुछ नहीं चलो टीचिंग कर लो. So that is wrong. That should not be the motto of a teacher. A real teacher should be from the inner heart.
That's so
whatever you know, there should be a desire. Because my father used to say, he had a teacher who used to teach him keeping all almonds and cashews in his pocket.
अच्छा, बादाम काजू जेब में रख के
पढ़ाते थे और बच्चों को देते थे.
अच्छा, so that they should be motivated.
To motivate them and to make their mind brush up.
Okay, that was really interesting. तो ऐसे भी teachers थे पहले के ज़माने में, हम कहेंगे, जो अपने pockets में बादाम काजू रखते थे, students को देते थे ताकि खाओ और आपका दिमाग तेज करो, and they used to motivate them. So that was also one aspect of
my father
teaching.
used to say that. My father was a doctor.
Okay.
And he used to say that my teachers used to put all those pockets full of dry fruits and they used to just distribute to. That's a way, it has double action, like to attract, because small children, they don't understand.
Right,
and they get attracted. अरे बादाम मिल रहा है, चलो जाएंगे.
पढ़ाई के लिए जाएंगे. So a teacher needs to have that motivation जिसके लिए आपके पास बच्चा आए, जिसको आपका मतलब सुने बच्चा आपको. तो मतलब मैम ने यहाँ पे एक बहुत अच्छी बात बताई है कि वो बच्चों का mindset आपको समझना चाहिए, and you should always be a teacher out of choice, not out of chance. So this is, the desire should always be there to become a teacher. Now, ma'am, you have played so many roles. Like, let's go for that. You have been a daughter, you have been a sister, you have been a mother, you have been a daughter-in-law, now you have been a mother-in-law, you're a grandmother, and of course, you have been a teacher also. So, ये सारे roles में से आपको कौन सा role ऐसा लगा जो सबसे मुश्किल रहा आपको निभाना? और सबसे आसान भी रहा आपको निभाना? कौन सा ऐसा रोल है?
The present role is very tough
The present
because
role.
children are very intelligent. They sometimes question you some typical questions which we are unable to answer them.
तो ऐसा होता है कि टीचर को भी कोई आंसर नहीं आता है?
हाँ, पर टीचर भी इंसान है भाई.
This is very very important क्योंकि ना बच्चों को पता होना चाहिए कि टीचर को भी नहीं आता है, वो भी एक इंसान है, वो उससे भी गलती हो सकती है. And to accept this, then it makes you a real teacher. Real hero वो नहीं होता है जो फेल ही नहीं होता. Real hero वो होता है जो हर बार फेल होने के बाद उठ के खड़ा होता है. That's a true definition.
Yeah, you are right. You are 100% right. But
तो आपको
still you
लगता है
have to go, you know.
Yeah,
Woods are lovely, dark and deep, but still I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. That means you have to learn and learn and learn. You cannot call yourself as a learned person at all.
You need to keep working on that aspect.
You have to work
of it,
and
right?
work. And then, as the present scenario is very, very tough, especially old people like us of back era. The new era has come up. We do not know all the present situations, how the scientists are growing into different, they are going to moon, they are going to go for research in sun and all sorts of things which we are unable to. Even sometimes there are things which we don't understand because our branches are cut down to narrow.
Right.
We are not like, I'm not a science graduate, I'm an arts graduate. And I came into teaching. So I may be knowing a little bit of things in teaching, but I am totally unaware of the things, what is going on in scientific research.
Right.
So a person who is perfect in his line will go directly into it. But things go different when children of this present era, if they question me on science, I remain zero. I don't know anything about it.
Right.
So that way we are lagging behind and I am answerless. So that makes a critical situation for me as per your question. You told me as to which group
Role,
you think, yeah. So my grandchildren are, mashallah, they're so intelligent. When they sit together, mashallah, I've got 9 grandchildren. When they sit together, they gossip, they talk, they argue, they do
keep on
all
asking
sorts
questions
of,
also about
which I think I'm just like a mum lady sitting and watching them, what these people are doing. And the one who are very good in science, if they're talking about share markets, they're talking about bankings, they're talking about politics.
Yeah.
So
you become an
we are not
aware of it.
perfect in all these divisions. We are perfect only in one line.
So then you learn from your grandchildren
Yeah,
also.
then I learn from my grandchildren that this is this, this is this. So,
ma'am, is there any like point when you feel like अरे मुझे नहीं आता? Do you ever feel that मुझे नहीं आता? You get that feeling because many students are like मुझे नहीं आता है, मैं कैसे बोलूं? So मतलब आप अभी इस एज में सीख रही हैं, तो यानी सीखने के लिए कभी-कभी ऐसा नहीं होता यार इस एज में पढ़ेंगे या सीखेंगे या नहीं आता बोलेंगे तो लोग क्या कहेंगे?
No, we should not feel shy.
That's
the very first thing a teacher has to learn is not to be shy. If you know, you tell them. If not, supposing there are so many questions during my teaching experience, there were so many students who used to question me. I say, okay, I'm unaware of this fact here. I'll find out and let you know tomorrow.
This is what a real educator is. This is what a real educator is. जब आपको कोई पूछे कि ये क्वेश्चन है, नहीं पता है, हम आपको ढूंढते हैं, पढ़ते हैं, फिर समझाते हैं. So this is what you can say the identity of a real educator, that you also accept that you don't know certain things and you're going to learn it and then explain it.
After all, we all are human beings.
Human beings, right.
We all are human beings and many things we do not know. Now there are a number of things which have cropped up. There are different divisions, there are different wings of researchers, there are different wings of subjects which every person cannot know. So when somebody questions you, maybe my own grandchildren or my children, I may say them, please beta, I'll just find out and let you know about it.
Find out the answers and let you know for that. So
and that time you should not feel shy.
Right.
That, no, your arguments that gives a wrong picture of your
personality also, right? कि आपको नहीं पता है, ठीक है, मैं ढूंढ के बताती हूँ, मैं भी पढ़ती हूँ, मैं बताती हूँ, और यही सही पहचान होती है. जैसे हम आपको बोलते हैं इंटरव्यूज में, अगर आपको कोई ऐसा क्वेश्चन पूछे जो आपको नहीं आता तो बोलो नहीं आता है, but I will learn.
Yeah.
This is what we teach them in interviews, that if you don't know, don't fake that you know it. So that's a very good point ma'am has said. Ma'am, I have this question coming up for you now, like what is the role of a teacher in today's world as far as the society is concerned now? So what role teacher has to play for the overall upliftment, the development and the well-being of the society as a whole?
The very first thing that comes to my mind, maybe I may be wrong, is a character development.
I think I should come up to this point again. Once again, आंटी बहुत सही बात कही आपने, जोर से थोड़ा एक बार कि आपके हिसाब से क्या important है, टीचर का क्या रोल है सोसाइटी में आज के लिए?
The role of a society is to make a child sound and good characters.
Character development is what the most important role of a teacher is, that she can give to the society.
Yes.
And you are not basically teaching somebody to make a living, but how to make a life. So character development is the basic.
Character development is the basic thing, because these days, according to the latest situation, I'm not criticizing it, but I have seen with my own eyes. Parents hardly have time to guide their children.
Right, that's so true.
They just give their children their mobile, and they keep themselves busy in their schedule, whatever the schedule may be, whether cooking or going for the kitty party or attending any party or marriage functions or any something. But they hardly have time for their children to make them learn. In olden days, there was joint family systems where the grandparents used to teach the grandchildren what the right way and the wrong way is. But nowadays, divided families have no time for their children. Either they are busy with their own professions, with their jobs, or with their own type of busy schedule which hardly pays them anything.
Right.
With gossiping on phone, or talking to the neighbors, or watching movie, or watching these YouTube pictures.
Right.
What does it give?
It doesn't give you anything in return. Like, you know, being on
Just
social
one
media
more
doesn't give
channel.
you anything on return. Point to be noted, students. Ma'am ने बहुत बड़ा point बोला है. Investing your time wisely is very important, because putting your time in something which is not going to give you anything in return. Watching Facebook of other person, Instagram photos किसी और को देखकर आपको return में क्या मिल रहा है? यही मैम
कुछ नहीं
आपको
मिलता
बोलना
है,
चाहती
हमको कुछ नहीं मिलता है, रादर हम वेस्ट करते हैं, हमारे आँख खराब होते हैं, हमारा दिमाग खराब होता है, हमारा जहन खराब होता है, जो हमारा माइंड है वो पूरा डिस्टर्ब हो जाता है। और जो अलग अलग जो गेम्स निकले हैं मोबाइल्स में, उसमें बच्चे इतना, तो बीच में कुछ गेम निकला था, कुछ स्काई टावर ऐसा कुछ, आई डोंट एग्जैक्टली नो द नेम, उसमें बच्चे तो ऐसे भी किए कि सुसाइड किए हैं कुछ बच्चे,
because of that games.
बिकॉज ऑफ दैट गेम्स। सो उस तरीके से हमको बच्चों को कंट्रोल करना चाहिए। और एज ए एक्सपीरियंस पर्सन, चाहे आप ओल्ड रहो चाहे आप यंग रहो, as an experienced person, it is the duty of the younger generation to understand and visualize the things in a broader spectrum and analyze what the other person is saying is true or not. मम्मी तो ऐसे ही बोलती है, चलता है, डैडी तो ऐसे ही बोलते हैं, करेंगे हम, तो that is not the real answer of your life to spend time on. You have to give time to values. Values play an important role. What are the values? Then when you understand the value of values, then your life is successful.
Now, this is again a very important point to be noted from ma'am coming up. Understand the value of values. If you know the value of values, then your life is successful. आपके जीवन में कोई तत्व होना चाहिए, आपके जीवन के कोई प्रिंसिपल्स होने चाहिए, एथिक्स होने चाहिए, और आपको उनकी महत्वता मालूम होनी चाहिए. अगर आपको ये पता है तो ही आपका जिंदगी सक्सेसफुल कहलाएगी. That's so true. So anything else that remains to be shared, you know, that is कुछ रह गया है जो आपके हिसाब से आपको बोलना है? You have a message for students, you have a message for teachers, you have a message for younger generation.
Be simple, be polite, be very helpful, whatever way you can do. It's not the question of just giving money and feeling satisfied that you have helped. No, even sometimes good words, soft words also help a person who is in tension. And be a real person with great humanity in you, and be a royal person.
That's so true. बहुत सही कहा मैम ने कि be simple, be polite and be helpful in whatever ways you can. हर बार पैसा देना मदद नहीं होती. शायद एक अनजान इंसान को जो तकलीफ में है उसको एक मुस्कुराहट भी अगर आपकी राहत दे दे तो वो भी एक मदद कहलाती है. Actually, हम सभी जानते हैं, we all are stuck in this digital world which is full of tensions, and that I should say unnecessary loaded tensions. जैसे मैम ने कहा है कि आप ऐसा टाइम डाल रहे हो, ऐसी जगह डाल रहे हो जो आपको टेंशन्स दे रहा है, आपके टेंशन्स कम नहीं कर रहा है. तो वहाँ एक आपकी मुस्कुराहट भी किसी इंसान की तकलीफ कम कर दे तो आपने उनकी हेल्प ही तो की है. That's so true. So overall, a gist I should say about you. In fact, that's the end of the session. We are closer to the end of the session because, as I told you, I'll take you half an hour for that reason. Because Auntie already अपने इतने busy schedule से यहाँ पे आई है. She is at home, but she just came back from US. It's been hardly a month that she's been back. 2 months.
8 to 10 days now.
Now, so she's been back and मैम ने कहा नहीं आप आइए प्लीज, बिकॉज हम चाहते हैं कि इससे बढ़िया क्या दिन हो सकता है कि हम आपको सुने. टीचर्स डे बहुत समय लगता है, पूरी जिंदगी लोग अपने एक प्रोफेशन को डिवोट कर देते हैं ये सोसाइटी को सिखाने के लिए, ये समझाने के लिए कि बेसिकली एक अच्छा कैरेक्टर डेवलप कैसे किया जाता है, और वो सिर्फ एक अच्छी और एक रियल टीचर कर सकती है. सो रियली सल्यूट टू योर प्रोफेशन एंड द वे यू हैव. आपने बहुत सारे बच्चे पढ़ाए हैं, कोई ऐसा बच्चा जो आपको याद है, आप बता दीजिए.
I do remember till now. There are about 10 to 12 students whom I remember almost every day.
और वो काफी पुराने होंगे, मतलब
बहुत
आप
पुराने हैं. This is a story of almost 30 years back.
30 years back, you still remember the student. Lucky
Yes,
one, I should say.
Yes. Now she is working in Delhi, Chetna Bhadange. She
Chetna.
was a very good student. She loved me so much. Still, I receive her messages and I give back. She greets me on Teachers' Day. She greets me on my birthday. And she sometimes meet me. Then we have a get together sometimes. But it's long because for the past 5 years, I'm usually
abroad. Yeah, listening abroad.
going abroad on and off. I'm not in India.
Right.
So I hardly get time to meet these children.
So Chetna is one of your students. I hope she
Yes.
listens with that. Your teacher is remembering you on Teachers' Day, calling you as one of her best students. और ये सबसे बड़ी जीत होती है स्टूडेंट्स की कि जब टीचर ने बोल दिया कि अरे अच्छा स्टूडेंट है, मतलब सच में बच्चा अच्छा है. बट मैम ये भी तो कहा जाता है कि बच्चा अपने माँ बाप को देखता है लेकिन सुनता तो सिर्फ टीचर की है. मतलब मेरे बच्चे भी जब घर आते हैं तो नहीं, जो टीचर ने बोला वही सही है भाई, आप भले आप इतनी बड़ी टीचर हो क्यों ना हो, हम नहीं सुनेंगे. हमारी टीचर ने बोला इट्स को ऐसे लिखना है तो ऐसे ही लिखना है. सो टीचर ने कितना अपने वर्ड्स सोच समझ के यूज करना चाहिए, इस पे आपका क्या बोलना रहेगा?
देखिए, आप जब जबान खोलते हैं, मुंह खोलते हैं, जबान से बात करते हैं या आवाज निकालते हैं, तो आपको ऐसा अंदाजा करना चाहिए कि हमारी आवाज कहाँ तक पहुंचेगी, वो सोचना चाहिए. और हमेशा ये याद रखना चाहिए कि जबान से निकली हुई चीज पराई हो जाए.
You cannot take it back,
You cannot
right?
take it.
So once the words are spoken, so you
have
cannot
to be-
just take them back.
You have to be very, very calculative in speaking. And अगर आप किसी को शाबाशी भी दे रहे हो तो इस तरीके से दो कि दूसरे को बुरा ना लगे.
This is very, very important. यानी किसी को congratulate भी ऐसा करो कि दूसरे वाले को बुरा ना लगे उस बच्चे
क्योंकि
को.
आजकल इतने सेंसिटिव हो गए हैं बच्चे
जी.
कि मैडम ने उसको इनकरेज किया, उसको बोला, मुझे नहीं बोला है, तो देन tears roll down their cheeks.
Right, right.
मुझे नहीं बोला, that is not the thing. लेकिन हमको जब किसी की तारीफ भी करना है तो सबको मिला के करो और फिर पैट करो एक बच्चे को जो आपको बहुत
अच्छा लगे. Right.
तो सब बच्चों को बुरा नहीं लगेगा. और दूसरी बात यह है कि नपा तुला कहो. Don't, maybe while talking now I must have used my language in such a way because I'm not in practice now these days.
You're always being graceful, you know. You are
I'm not in practice of teaching for the past 3 years, at least 3 to 4, 3 years almost, yeah. So अपनी भाषा को इतनी अच्छे से यूज करो कि उसमें से रस टपके और लोगों को मिठास दे.
She's always been pretty graceful, I should say, कि जब भी मैंने कहा ना मैम को मैं देखती हूँ तो कहते हैं ना ग्रेस का दूसरा नाम मुझे इनमें दिखता है. The way she carries herself, the way she speaks, and this is really very important कि अपनी आप बात अच्छी रखें एज अ टीचर. बिकॉज इसीलिए तो मैं कहती हूँ बच्चा और डियर, क्योंकि कई बार तकलीफ में कोई स्टूडेंट होता है, एक तो उनको पढ़ाई का टेंशन है, नहीं सीख रहा है, और अगर टीचर भी डांटने लगे तो फिर वो कहाँ जाएगा. टीचर की बात यहाँ छपी रहती है, whatever the teacher speaks even in the
तो
childhood
हमको
days.
बहुत मिठास से उनको लेके चलना चाहिए. घर में जैसे भी हो, मेरे मन में आता है कि the whole strategy of education should change.
जी.
There should not be any books, specific criteria for class 1, class 2, class 3. No way. A child will grasp according to his mental capacity.
So just let him learn.
Let him learn, let
rather
him
than giving
expose. Let him expose himself to the different criteria of science world, then arts, then social studies or mathematics, because I have been, listening from many students, maths is a boring subject, we don't like it.
Right.
But then sometimes, there are teachers who have
they
come on international level who are teaching mathematics so well.
Right.
That subject has become their
Favorite or
favorite
interesting.
one.
So, ma'am, do you accept this, that the interesting teacher can make a boring subject interesting to learn?
Of course.
Is it possible?
It is possible, but not 100%. It depends on the mental capacity of a
On
child.
this child also. Right, how fast he learns.
How fast.
Chaliye. So we have Yes Sir also here with us. Very well said. Yes Sir का comment आया है. Yes Sir is of faculty और मैंने आज Yes Sir से कहा था आप ये session जरूर सुने. So even he is listening you live on YouTube. A small token of appreciation, a token of thank you for you, ma'am, for being a part of us and for being a part of SSA. कि आप यहाँ आए और अपने views share किए. It's a small token of
No,
love.
I didn't expect this from.
Small thing. Thank you so much. You came all
Well,
the
I
way
should
to share
thank
your
you
views.
for realizing me as a person to be guided to you all or to be spoken to you all. I feel really honored in coming up to you and talking to you all. That is really nice, and I could see that many people will listen to me on.
Right, they are online for all of us. इसलिए तो मैंने कहा ना बेटे, अच्छे टीचर्स बहुत हैं, लेकिन सच्चे टीचर्स बहुत कम हैं. इसीलिए मैम के नाम के आगे मैंने लगाया है द रियल एजुकेटर. बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो अच्छा पढ़ाते हैं, लेकिन बहुत कम लोग होते हैं जो दिल से पढ़ाते हैं, जिसे हम कहते हैं सच्चे टीचर्स. This lady has given her life for teaching and making people understand what a good teacher is. और मैंने कहा था कि इनको जरूर इनके views को सामने आना चाहिए ताकि आपके जैसे और teachers बने. And our society needs people.
There are so many things, well, we can write a book on it. There's so many things. But a little interview is not enough for the younger generation to inspire them or to make them understand the real meaning of education or the real meaning of grasping the world. There are so many items on which we can talk. There are so many topics that we can talk
about.
But people do not have time to listen to also because they are so much busy in their own activities.
And these activities are not at all productive.
Not at all.
So this is very important कि आप आपका time कहाँ productively use कर रहे हैं उस पे आप जरूर ध्यान दें. और हम ऐसे ही SSA talk दोबारा मिलेंगे. मैम के साथ फिर एक और session लेंगे. क्योंकि मैंने मैम से आधे घंटे का समय लिया था. मैम ने कहा वो जरूर आएंगे. तो मैम, like whenever you feel like you have something very important to share with us, our platform is always open for you, for your views.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening to all this talk, whatever we had a little time before. And I really appreciate the cooperation, the coordination of Amreen madam. Amreen, we call her. I call her Amreen because her first name is Amreen.
Yeah, please call Amreen only.
But I could notice that you are called with Fatima.
Ma'am. No, ma'am, aap Amreen
but
boliye.
very glad to listen to this new name. And she is real, very hard-working lady.
But then, that is easy to pronounce.
Very hard-working lady. I have seen her with always smile on her face. I have not seen her any wrinkles on her forehead.
Yeah, but we request you to be a part of giving, such sessions where you can just share your views. So people will learn.
I really would love to.
So students will learn from you what is a good character development and what is a real educator. So with many more sessions coming up from SSA Talk, we meet again next week, and the next session will be all about meditation. So we have Varu sir coming up next week with meditation. Thank you so much for being a part of our students. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you.